Wait, I just realized this is going to be the 169th episode.
Ooh.
And we're not doing anything for it. Last time we did Iron Man movies, whatever. This time
do we make it a quiz episode on all sex movies?
All sex movies. I think it's called pornography. How about maybe we throw something in the announcements?
A quiz episode where we talk about 50 Shades of Grey.
How about we maybe throw something in the announcements?
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
269, we'll really go into it. We'll detail every sexual encounter we've always dreamed of with Christian Grey.
And every single sexual encounter we've ever had with each other.
20-hour pod. Anyway, what a terrible start.
Not great.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 169th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. Also, I just had a horrible realization. I saw my grandfather recently, and he was like, "Are you still doing that YouTube thing? Show me how to find the..." And I just imagined this is the episode he clicks on. So we'll do a 20-hour pod detailing our sexual encounters with one another.
And then about to start the pod, and then genuine horror. Oh my god, it's pod 169.
Fireworks shoot off. Anyway, my name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and 169th buddy.
God.
That my buddy, Frederick. My post-New Year's buddy. Anyway, we're back with another episode this week. Yeah. We're here.
We did spend New Year's together.
We did.
Partly. We jumped into the new year.
We did.
And then,
with other people, I'd like to be clear, it wasn't just the two of us.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be catching up on some much-needed mini-reviews that we did not get to in 2022. So we have a couple, there are time codes down below. We have a couple of, the main ones aren't even going to be mini-reviews.
They're going to be big old reviews.
We have a couple mini-reviews at the start of just some stuff we've been watching, random things. And you can skip around. At the end, we're going to talk Violent Night.
Ooh.
We're going to talk Avatar: The Way of Water. And we're going to talk about Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I don't need an iPad.
You're the imposter, Benoit. I'd like to make it clear, I do not need an iPad.
I was genuinely... This is so sad, but I was thinking we were going to do this bit where we do the Benoit accent, and I remember there was a quote from the movie that was like, oh, that's a good one, I should do that one. Okay. I genuinely cannot remember what it is now. I took time out of my day to think of a Benoit quote that was really good.
Well, I'm sure we can find it quickly.
He
breaks down psychologically.
Anyway, we'll get to it. But yeah, shall we get into some movie talk? That's what we're here to do.
I love movie talk.
First things first. I'll go with a film class one. The last movie I watched for film class this semester.
Okay.
And it is a classic movie that I probably won't have a lot to say about because it's not very funny. It's quite a sad film. But we watched Brokeback Mountain and had to write on like various articles about it. So I am kind of also totally out of energy for this movie because I've spent like weeks writing an essay about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, a very excellent film. Super sad. Yeah, just a sad old time. Not it's, bad vibes. It's very
Gyllenhaal and
Ledger. By the way, I know he gets all the credit for the Joker performance.
And he should, because he sucked in this movie.
Genuinely amazing performance. Like very, I don't know, just very understated, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. That's probably a word I used in my essay. But yeah, like a beautiful but very sad film. One thing I think you would enjoy about it is the music.
Ooh.
Fucking really great. And there's one specific song here.
Skyrim theme.
Imagine that during the beautiful lovemaking scene. Skyrim.
Is there a lot of lovemaking scenes in this movie?
There's only one that's kind of explicit, and then the rest is kind of implied. But it is quite a heartbreaking movie. I will say, stash of the year contender for Gyllenhaal by the end. I know that's not what the point of it is, but he has an excellent stash.
I think that's the whole point of all the other stash movies we do, though.
yeah, exactly. But just the beautiful, like, melancholic vibe of this. Again, I might have to cut this out of the pod for copyright, but look up The Wings by Gustavo Santaolalla. Anyway, very, very good score.
That does sound very good.
So anyway, Brokeback, kind of a weird one to start on because not a lot, like, funny to say about it, but a great film. I would, I'd recommend to you, personally.
I will, I've always wanted to check it out. because I've heard great things. Are we gonna rate these little movies we've seen?
Oh, should we in the new year? Are we bringing ratings into it?
I think we should bring ratings into it.
I'm gonna give Brokeback Mountain an 8.8 out of 10. Ooh. Very good film. Couple of kind of mid moments, I'd say, that are a little on the nose. Kind of some pieces of dialogue. Couple of moments where they're spotted in a way that I'm like, I feel like there's a way to you not getting spotted in this moment. Like, you could wait 5 seconds to kiss before your wife sees you out of the... Anyway, besides that, brilliant film.
Fair. All right, let me see here. I watched the movie Troll.
Ooh, the Netflix.
The kind of like, I think it's, I forget if it's Swedish or Norwegian. Norwegian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Norwegian Netflix movie.
I'm actually very curious to hear about this.
So, pretty good, but also don't think I'd want to watch it again. The troll himself, pretty well done.
I was gonna say, how's the troll?
The troll, I mean, he's sad. He's not doing great.
Oh.
And I didn't love the ending. It didn't feel like that good of an ending. It sets up a sequel, first of all.
Hell yeah.
Are you gonna watch this movie, or can I spoil it?
I'll let you spoil it. I was thinking about watching it, but.
Wait, first of all, let me just see what I wrote for Letterboxd. I wrote. Oh, that's not good.
Let me
#, big hard dudes.
Okay.
Wait,
this isn't for Troll. This is for Ass Busters 3.
The Italian stallion right here. No, so basically he is made of rock, kind of.
And he has a full erection the whole movie.
He is rock hard. It's very fitting. Oh no, I clicked on a Toyota ad. Anyways, there is some very, very enjoyable characters. Mainly Andreas Isaksson, which I've written King Andreas Isaksson, which is like the Prime Minister's like advisor who like, I don't know, he's very, very enjoyable. Also kind of gives me a mix between Yassine and Lele vibes.
Ooh.
So do with that what you will.
Interesting.
The viewers, that is.
Yeah. So the viewers who've seen these people maybe for 5 minutes each over the course of the pod.
But then the end of the movies is basically like the troll. Like obviously, like there's a whole thing of like, it's like they're mining in the mountains, which then wakes up the trolls, and like they're in the wrong because that's his place of slumber. But then there's like a high speed chase where he's like running after them, and then the movie ends where it's like it's revealed that he's been like suffering a bunch of this big troll, and then he just dies through sunlight.
Oh.
It's very just kind of like, meh.
How do they set up a sequel then?
Because then they're like, oh, and he had a wife. And then you hear roars in the mountain. It's, so honestly, classic. Like, I think it's a very well, like, especially like the CGI-wise for like a foreign movie. Big budget, I liked, but otherwise.
For one of them Scandinavian piss boy movies.
Honestly, you've seen, I don't know,
Boy.
like, man, I love Ant Boy.
I fucking hated Ant Boy.
I don't remember if I've seen the movie. I just remember I read all the books though, and the
books were better.
The books were great.
The books were almost as good as Iqbal Faluk.
Oh, nothing was as good as Iqbal Faluk.
Those were iconic.
God.
Sorry, slight tangent.
Troll, pretty good.
It was interesting because I saw the trailer and it got a lot of hype. The film because it was sort of kind of came out of nowhere, and it is sort of like a. I guess when it's a foreign film, like a Norwegian thing, it's like, ooh, this could be interesting and different to the American public. Me as a half Scandinavian,
of course,
like, it looks mid. But okay, I was kind of curious.
I will say there's like some horrifically stupid decisions made in this movie, and some very unlikable characters, but overall decent. I give it I'm gonna say a 6 or 6.5 out of 10. We'll go 3 trolls out of 4.
Troll wives.
Troll wives.
Really had to get that in there.
Andreas Isakssons.
Okay. I would say also, just on that, I feel like that represents Norway pretty well, of a bunch of stupid decisions made and unlikable characters. Boom! Take that, Norway.
You don't like Norway?
Don't we hate Norway? We're Danish. I know we hate Sweden, but we
Norway. We chill with Norway.
Really?
Yeah.
So sorry, Norway. I take it all back.
Diplomatic relations crumble.
Nukes launched. Anyway.
Fuck, shit. Norway, I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of Danish things, Papa Hudson.
That's it.
It's just a concept.
It's a state of mind.
I was like, you know what? We can watch a movie of your choosing. We'll let it happen. And he chose the film Pusher. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's from the 90s. It's a Danish drug crime film.
Okay.
Apparently quite a famous one. It's
Is this the one with Nikolai Coster-Waldau?
It is not, no.
Then I don't know.
But it's directed by Nikolai Winding Refn, who people may know as the director of Drive. It's kind of gone on to be a pretty big deal. And in a minor role, not in the main character role, but in a very kind of small, quite sad role, does have one of the earlier performances of your boy Mads Mikkelsen.
Of Mads Mikkelsen?
A bald Mikkelsen. With respect written on the back of his head, because he's a tough guy. Anyway, spoiler alert, he gets beaten near to death with a baseball bat. But very dark film. It's just like a very gritty, grim crime drama about this guy. He owes money, and then the mob leader wants the money, and then he has to go get the money, and sadness and violence ensues. Quite good, but I would say a bit of a confusing choice from the Papa Hudson. I'm like, you could have picked any film.
You choose this like niche Danish
grim Danish crime drama. But yeah, I mean, a good movie. I'd say maybe like a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10? Okay, yeah, fair.
Solid. I can leave you with a reminder of why she walked away in the first place. That's not the one I was thinking. I think this is what it was. It probably wasn't, but disruption. At the end when the whole thing explodes. Spoilers.
He's not a genius. He's an idiot.
His dock doesn't work. Anyway, we'll get to it.
I don't need an iPad.
Clearly does.
Clearly desperately needs an iPad. When I was in Lisbon, I watched a cheeky bit of Collateral.
Ah, classic.
A little rewatch. A great movie. Silver-haired Cruise.
Beautiful. Kissable.
Definitely. Most Cruise, kissable, and silver-haired.
Definitely.
And Jamie Foxx also just kind of delightful, you know?
Yeah.
And kind of like watching it back the second time. I don't think I enjoyed it as much the second time, but still a very good movie. And I was like, in the beginning when they talk, because you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When in the beginning when they talk about, someone could die on the subway for 6 hours here, and no one would realize. It's like, okay, well that's
right,
classic Cruise death. But a great movie. I'm gonna give it a little 7 out of 10.
Oof. We're just
7.5 actually.
I was gonna say that's kind of low for
for a Cruise movie.
The last 3 that I have here that are mini, I'm just gonna rattle off because they're not that important. No offense. But I rewatched Guardians 2. Just a fun old time. Still have the same complaints that I did when we talked about it. It has some kind of weird pacing and some low moments, but I think one of the more emotional MCU movies. Like especially at the end, very very heartfelt. Got me a little bit.
Yeah. A little Yondu action.
Yeah, I'd say like a 7.8. Kingsman 2. Rewatched that for whatever reason.
Interesting choice.
Exact same problem. Like some of it's pretty fun. A lot of it's unbelievably awful. Like so bad. It's actually.
Do you think if we walked in watching it for the first time with the mindset of not expecting it to be super good, would we enjoy it more? Because is there are there nutty moments?
No, there's definitely good moments, and I appreciated the Merlin death more. I very much enjoyed the Can's empty. Deep reference there for long-time listeners.
How long has it been since we made that one?
Like a month. But just the whole Harry storyline is just like weird and sad and uncomfortable, and the fucking the political thing in the background where it's like the president they pile them all in cages, and it's like, God, what the fuck? The shot of them, do you remember that? All of them in cages? Yeah. One of the worst shots I've ever seen in a film. Truly, I was just like, what the fuck were you thinking?
What is happening right here?
Pedro's great, Channing's great. There's great things that are like, you could do so much more with.
I do not like the main villain either. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Poppy.
Yes,
this is very fucking absurd. Anyway, 4 out of 10.
Okay.
It does have some good stuff. And finally, I watched for the first time Mathilda.
Ooh.
The one from the 90s, I guess, where Danny DeVito's the dad.
Terrifying, but yes.
Yeah, right. Genuinely quite an enjoyable film. Very nutty. I actually liked it a lot. It was pretty fun. That's all I have to say about that.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Fun kids film.
I will bunch these two in together as well as my last two because very topical. A double Denzel.
What every woman or man wants.
In a burger. Can I please have the double Denzel?
It's just his tongue.
It's his newt sack.
All right. It's his tongue licking his newt sack. We did
New Year. New Year, same us.
New Year, much worse us.
New Year, better content.
God.
Yeah. So the first one, Equalizer, or The Equalizer. A very good Denzel moment.
They have an Oscar for that?
The best
Denzel moment?
It's just a very, very good movie. It's got Chloe Grace Moretz in it, and just some, like, you know, not the deepest meaning or anything like that, but some very, very cool action shots with Denzel. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
Sure.
And then the next one, I think it was called The Little Things. Great cast. We're rocking Rami Malek.
I think there might be a Leto in there somewhere.
Leto. Denzel. And a few other people that I failed to remember, but a great cast. I was like, ooh, okay. It starts off very good. Kind of like a murder mystery, kind of, you know. Leto's this fucking creep who claims to do some things, and then, you know. I mean,
but what is he in the movie? New Year.
New Year, amazing content. I mean, can I spoil this for you? Or
Well, you did show me the final clip.
I did, in fact,
the other
yeah.
night, so yeah, I will.
Okay, true. Yeah, so it's basically like Denzel and Rami team up to hunt this like person who's been like killing young women. And then Leto knows everything about the case and is this creep who's like avoiding them and like playing mind games with them. And then at the end, he like almost in a set. It's like very similar to Seven, almost like where in the end he kind of. You've seen Seven, right?
Of course.
I was like, just make sure.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Where in the end he gets Rami alone and basically like pushes him to the brink of where he just like kills Leto.
Yeah,
with a shovel.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty good in some parts, but throughout the whole movie, Denzel is very annoyingly like mysterious, and it's like, you know, it's the little things that get us. It's like, no, Denzel, it's not. You fool. And
it's a
like,
shovel to the face.
Then it's later revealed that like 5 years ago, because he's had like some trauma, that the reason he was like a high-end detective, but now he's like just a street cop, is because Denzel, like when he was out looking for one of the girls who was missing, he got jump scared by her and shot her dead.
Why'd you phrase it like that? Denzel got jump scared.
He did. He was like, shot her dead.
Right.
It's like, that's not a little thing, Denzel. That's you being very bad at your job.
That's an actual murder.
That's literal murder, Denzel. So yeah, not great. I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Okay.
4
of those points for the Leto shovel to the face.
Yeah, exactly. Almost all of the points. Yeah. And Rami is very good in it as well, I will say.
Okay. By the way, when you referenced 7, I was gonna go. Repeat. John Doe has the upper hand.
John Doe has the upper hand.
I can't believe that's my Morgan Freeman. Well, with those mini reviews,
with those little shit nuggets out of the way.
All right. A little harsh. We're gonna dive into our 3 big films that we've both seen. I think we're gonna start with Violent Night, then go Avatar 2, then go Knives Out 2.
Yeah.
Spoilers for all when we talk about them. Their time codes down below.
Yeah.
First of all, let's jump into Violent Night.
Violent Night. A Woody movie.
A Woody movie. A kind of accidental Woody movie.
Yeah.
We had a lot of other ones we wanted to go see, and this was the only one that was actually playing. But I have to say...
A surprising shout.
A surprising shout. I think... I saw the trailer for this. I was gonna send it to you as like... Because I'll often send you a trailer and be like, this could be a kind of
funny
fun Woody movie. I didn't even send it to you. I was like, this looks too dumb.
Santa goes on a killing spree.
It looks like a fake movie in Tropic Thunder or like Family Guy or something. Like it's like too movie premise-y.
It's too ridiculous.
Yeah. But we ended up paying our hard-earned money to go see this film neither of us really wanted to see.
Yeah. Paid a lot of money. Went for a lovely dinner though.
Did Halifax. Shout out, my guys.
Shout out my bros.
And it was pretty fun.
It was like, again, not a movie that takes itself very seriously.
No.
But
it's not gonna win any awards.
But it, for what it was, so delightful.
About as good as you could probably do a premise like that. A comedy action Santa is in Die Hard movie.
Yeah, literally.
It's about as good as that can possibly be. Mm-hmm. David Harbour, great choice for Santa.
Mm-hmm. He's got that jelly on him.
He's got that dad bod. I had a recent conversation with some friends who were saying David Harbour, and I'm not exaggerating, female friends, believe it or not.
Okay.
Who were saying David Harbour is the hottest actor in Hollywood. And I genuinely thought they were joking.
I would say...
But they were like, I love the dad bod. It's so fucking hot. And I was like, damn.
What?
What am I doing wrong being so ripped all the time?
God, I see where I'm going wrong when I'm not getting that many women. It's because my body is too good looking. It's because I can fucking shred cheese on these abs.
But and here there's a steamy scene where he takes it off and it's in full effect.
So the thing is, he is such a grandiose man.
Sure.
Mass-wise.
Good. I'm glad you treaded lightly around this.
No, the thing is, he's just such a big dude. Not. I wouldn't say he's like fat.
No.
Fat.
He's got the dad bod.
He's got the dad bod, but he's just massive. He's a tall guy.
Yeah.
I think he looks tall, anyways. And so I can kind of see why the dad bod would work on him, and why it does the magic
for Santa.
It does. He, as we've said, a great Santa. But I would not say he's
the hottest actor in Hollywood.
Hottest actor in Hollywood.
I don't know if I'd go that far either, but a handsome man.
I would. He's like the kind of fun uncle who your friends would maybe be a little bit attracted to.
Sure, this very specific.
And then end up ruining your family dynamic by sleeping with him.
But yeah, I think I enjoyed the Santa like myth that they built into it, like that he's, again, spoilers. He's like a Viking, and then he decides, one way or another, he becomes Santa Claus, and like all the shit, like his sack that he can pull anything out of. I knew that was gonna, and like his list and stuff and all that shit. It was fun.
I like the whole, where he just like picks his hand in and just something random comes out of the sack.
Yeah. Again, New Year, great content. I think they also, to its detriment at times, but they did every Christmassy thing you could possibly do in like a murder action movie. Like he kills someone with a star. I think they throw snowballs. They go like sledding, kind of. And
he does
the tree.
He's got the candy cane that he makes into like a knife.
Candy cane. Yeah, they do all the. He says all the Christmas lines.
Sucks it dry until it turns into a knife.
He slobber on that thing.
That's
what it says in the script. In the scene, Santa slobbers on that thing.
Harper smiles. He is a master slobberer.
They have to clarify what it actually means. Harper frowns. Once double the pay now. Anyway,
I'm not sucking any penis. I require much more money. That's why in most movies that David Harbour does, they put in a scene where he performs fellatio just to cut budget.
He does it for free then? God, I'm sorry. What image are we painting?
The more penis he gets, the cheaper the budget. What is happening?
What is happening? Genuinely, what is this thing we're doing?
God.
But
life hack: get a surgeon, remove the Harbour ribs. You're good to go for life. You've got a self-sufficient machine.
Jesus Christ. But I enjoyed. It's super over the top and kind of stupid. But it clearly had like love put into it. Sorry, terrible phrasing. And like clearly they cared about what they were making and they tried to make it fun. I think John Leguizamo was fun as the villain. A little bit too much of the family stuff. I didn't really give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Like I know you have to set it all up, but there was a little too much of like the daughter and like the son's not with the mother's riches or whatever. Fuck off. I
did not care about that side plot whatsoever.
Yeah.
I will say, didn't hate the girl, like the daughter. Thought she was.
No, she was pretty good.
I thought
there was some fun Home Aloning type action.
Yeah, some very brutal.
That was probably the most brutal moment in the movie when the dude falls on his chin. The
nail just goes straight through his chin.
That was the only moment. I don't react that viscerally, but that moment I was like, nah, fam. There was some Harbour vomit.
There was
at the start. That was fun. Set the tone.
I like the alcoholic Santa as well. Kind of like And the whole Mrs. Claus action.
It was also, the thing that was nice about it was, like, he was clearly, a bit of a degenerate Santa, but he still had the Santa, he was still very likable, he still had the Santa traits, and then when Mrs. Claus sends the extra sack at the end.
Honey, you forgot your sack at home.
I enjoyed that. It was a wholesome, fun movie.
It was.
I would actually recommend it. I think it's a fun one.
I thought it was really, really good. And, some of these, like... Yeah, I mean, I like that they went... Because it's a stupid premise, that they just went so over the top with some of the deaths and the amount of killings he did.
Yeah.
Like, in the one at the end where he, like, forces the bad guy up through the chimney is like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was great.
That's great.
Nice and bloody. Good
very
action.
Nice and bloody.
The shed scene almost won our Best Action Scene of the Year award.
It's true.
So... Yeah,
I would honestly. I'll say like 8 out of 10.
I go like a 7.8.
Like 6 harbors out of
8 chimneys.
You'd go 8 chimneys.
6 chimneys.
That's better. I will say I was kind of sad that Rudolph wasn't there.
Yeah, that I guess
I kind of looked for that. I won't lie. I was like,
they could have done some reference with like the red nose or something.
So what's the biggest problem with Final Night? There wasn't a Rudolph cameo.
Yeah, maybe they're saving it for the sequel. Maybe they didn't do all the Christmas stuff. They could have Rudolph. They didn't do No, they did the cookies and milk and shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I would say pretty good.
I would as well. Very
surprisingly
enjoyable.
Good. Mm-hmm. Speaking of surprisingly good, I was expecting this to be good, but I didn't think it'd be as good as it was.
Interesting.
Avatar: The Way of Water.
I walked into this so incredibly hyped.
Interesting. I've never heard you talk about the first Avatar.
I love the first
We've
Avatar.
done a movie podcast for 5 years. I don't think I've ever heard you say anything about
Guys,
Avatar.
back me up in the comments. I'm a huge Avatar fan.
Are you?
I am.
It makes sense. It's your kind of movie. Stupid.
Stupid, big, and blue.
Like, it's like about, like the nature, and it's this grand... I know you love the... I don't know, like the space adventure / the natural... whatever, the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. But I've never heard you talk about it. You've never mentioned it.
It's because it's old.
I guess. We talked about Pusher for like 5 minutes, but...
I've definitely mentioned Avatar before.
If someone can find a clip of Freddie talking about Avatar from this podcast, I will personally give you a 2-second shout-out.
Okay. Well, that's happening.
All right. It's on.
This one, I mean, again, it's a movie that I've just kind of like, when I watched it the first time, like the first Avatar, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Then it's like, it's been 13 years, so,
Did you see it in the cinema?
No. Oh. I don't think so. But I was like, oh, this is awesome, this is amazing. And then, like, the more I've been hearing about it, ever since, like, because it's almost been, like, this lore around it, it's like, oh, he's the biggest movie ever made, he's doing this and this and this. And when the trailer dropped since then, I've been so excited for it. And because of all the water stuff, I love water.
You're a water boy.
Scuba diver.
Scuba boy, bit of marine biology in there.
You know it. So then when I went to see it, I was like, I really hope it's going to be good. And it blew me.
Ah, great pun. Because they're
blue.
Painfully awkward knuckle crack. Because they're blue.
A fight ensues.
Yeah, that should be on the DVD cover. It blew me.
Do you think when?
Do you get it?
Do you think when Jake Sully is pretending to be someone he's not? Is that a little bit Jake Sussy?
I really did not. For some reason, didn't think it would go there. I should have known. Yeah, well, I mean, I can kind of let you take more point on this, because I saw you gave it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I thought it was very good as well. Couple of moments I would hate on.
Which moments, please?
Well, I just think, obviously, it is a visual masterpiece, and that's why you're going. And it's a lot more, for me at least, it was a lot more about the experience and the visual and like the atmosphere absorption than the story. The story itself wasn't terrible. I thought some of the dialogue was pretty goofy.
I get you.
There's some like character interactions that I feel like Jake Sully and the family stuff is pretty good and pretty natural feeling. There's some nice, you get the family vibe. You get that they love each other. I think Zoe Saldana's performance especially brings that out. But I think there's some, especially those fucking humans who work with the bad guys, the Australian like fishermen guys.
Okay, I will say
terrible.
Okay, I will admit, but I think again, It's something I just completely overlooked.
No, like, it's kind of a nitpick in the grand scheme.
It is a spectacle, you know.
Yes.
I'm not going to let the Australian fisherman ruin Avatar
It definitely didn't ruin it. But I'm just saying, it felt so much like out of like weird 90s movie.
It was very weird. Let's get around. Yeah. It's like sound like freaking Australian mater. Yeah. And I will say,
I think the kid also had some bad dialogue. I don't think he was bad. Spider. Yeah. I think some of the writing was kind of goofy. Besides my couple of minor nitpicks, I agree. An absolute feast for the senses.
Quickly staying on the nitpicks.
Fuck.
The scientist guy, who's with the Australian fisherman. Right?
Oh sure, yeah.
I did not like him. He was like, some of the dialogue as he's like about to be killed. He's like, "Who's got this? Oh yeah. Who's got this harpoon or spear
now? Who's got
the
tiny dick now?" As you're
it's like okay,
entering a horrific death.
It's like okay.
Also,
do you want to live?
What the fuck was the deal with Sigourney Weaver? Was she her mom? The woman, the scientist from the first movie?
Yes.
So she was. So she was adopted.
Yes.
Okay. I was so confused by that. I'm not gonna lie. I had little to no clue what was going on in those scenes.
No, yeah. So that was the whole thing. She's a mystery. Like conception was a mystery. It was born through Grace's avatar, Sigourney's avatar.
Gotcha.
But then Sigourney also played this girl.
Right. Oh wait, Sigourney played? Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes way. I was also surprised. I was
weird. I had no idea Kate Winslet was the fucking that one person.
Yeah.
Who was? Swear to God, not even kidding. And I was so disappointed when I found out I was wrong. I don't even know who it is, but I know it wasn't him. I thought the chief guy that they came to was Benedict Wong. His voice sounded so much like Benedict Wong. I was so sure. I was like, no fucking way.
I did not think that at all.
Really upsetting.
I will. You know what I found out? So in the first one, Neytiri's brother, or maybe not brother. No, the person she's supposed to marry. Who dies. Anyways.
Sure.
Mother's milk.
No way.
Yes way.
What a king.
Anyways.
That's why that movie made $3 billion.
The death of mother's milk. Anyways, a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, atmosphere, visuals, music.
The world building?
It drew me in more than any film I've seen in a long time. Like, into the... It really felt like you're, like, kind of... I don't say like a ride or something, because that kind of has a negative connotation.
But no,
but like being absorbed.
You were fully immersed.
Exactly.
And again, that's maybe why I wouldn't give it 5 out of 5 if I just saw this at home on my laptop. But sitting there, I've seen it twice now in the cinema, just big screen.
3D.
I've not seen the 3D yet. Fool.
Casual.
But sitting there, just like getting like, and the great audio all around you, and just, I don't know, it was very immersive, and because of that, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And like, I'd say like, in some movies where it's like, there's like the rebellious teen who doesn't really, like, you kind of like, oh, why are you doing that? Kind of gets on your nerves. I'd say like, even though he was the kind of rebellious teen, Loak in this one, I didn't hate it at all. I kind of sat there, I was like, I can kind of sympathize.
No, I think, despite my complaints about some of the dialogue and like a couple story beats, I think the story in general worked quite well. It was like simple enough, but it kind of has to be because it's not the point. And I thought, all the rebellious teen stuff and like trying to fit into a new community, it was all quite well done. I actually think, kind of like the opposite of a lot of films. Whenever it got to like a story scene, I wasn't like mad at it, but I was almost like, what the fuck? Threw my popcorn at the screen. But I was thinking like, I actually like enjoyed it more. In other films, you might complain like, oh, they're just scenes that are meandering and they're doing nothing. But when it was just them exploring, especially the underwater stuff, they're learning how to swim and control the animals and whatever.
I loved it.
Incredible. I know they can't make it like a documentary, basically, but the parts of it that almost felt like that, where you're just transported to this world.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing where it's like, it's a whole new world you're discovering. So I have no problem spending a lot of like time just sitting there getting to know it. Yeah.
But it does also work as well as it does because it has like a comprehensive, at the very least, story. I don't know.
What do you think of the Colonel being brought back?
I liked it. I thought I'd start. I was like, is this gonna be kind of cringe?
It's gonna be kind of mid-tacky kind of thing.
That's the thing. It was almost like a 90s movie twist where it's like, actually, he's a clone and he's back.
But
it was kind of,
it did kind of work.
Well, because they tied it into like, he bonds with his son. He also, I thought there was going to be more of a he understands the people now that he basically has become one of them. They didn't really go down that route.
I feel like that's the thing I'm worried about with him already making like the 4th movie and stuff like that. Yeah. I feel like they almost have to kind of explore that in the next one because he's been saved by Spider now. I feel like it's going to be, again, master prediction here. I think the next movie is going to be that
Fire Planet.
That probably might happen.
Let's go.
Let's go. But I think Fire
Cat
World.
Planet.
Can we get
Hamster World?
Avatar, The Way of the Hamster.
Not even remotely in the style of Avatar.
It's just Jake Sully goes into the body of a hamster. Do you think if Jake Sully did a lot of glutivations, he'd be called Cake Sully?
Yeah.
But anyways, for the next movie, I think, again, master prediction, I think that the Colonel, he's gonna,
Cake Sully really threw You can't just go and be like, so in the prediction, the Colonel's gonna just like, Cake Sully? Just Nate Sears slaps it. I'm looking a bit like Cake Sully today.
Tsunamis are created.
The way of water is discovered.
The way of water is disrupted. The natural balance.
The village is washed away. God. Sorry. Good master prediction.
What happened here? Everything is devastated. It was Cake Sully.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyways, master prediction. The Colonel is going to return to base. Someone new is going to come, a new bad guy. They're going to, ask to be teamed up. Then at some point in the movie, he's going to be faced with a choice of, having to kill Spider or something like that. Decides to not do that, and then turns against the people. Kind of Jake Sully style in the first one.
Yes.
And then the Colonel, Jake Sully, Spider, Neytiri, everyone.
The whole gang.
The whole gang become one.
I can absolutely see that. I think James Cameron would love that, parallel to the first film and all that. Yeah, and they clearly set up his, redemption-esque, things. Yeah, I'm excited for more Avatar movies, actually. The reason the first one was so successful, and this one, I guess, is it is a movie experience unlike any other.
It is.
You can't get this in
it's
any
completely other kind of film. It's nothing to compare it to.
Yeah. I would go with a 8.9 out of 10, personally.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to go 9.7.
Hot diggity dog. Would you say better than the first?
I would say better than the first.
God dang. Your favorite film? Allegedly, maybe not.
No, I never said it's my favorite
film. Again, there's a 2-second shout out on the line here.
I love it.
Fair enough. All right. Well, then, speaking of cinematic experiences one cannot get anywhere else, you're the imposter, Benoit.
Benoit, you're the imposter,
says Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And also some old lady from something famous. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I recognized her, but yeah.
But just the image of Benoit Blanc sitting naked with a fez playing Among Us in the bathroom.
What is this now? An emergency meeting? That was Benoit drowning.
Benoit talking normally, but bubbles. No, is that what he actually says?
No, but it does come up.
Now, what is this? An emergency meeting? Are you calling me sus?
I really wish they'd brought in sus somehow.
Benoit, you're sus.
I don't understand. What is that? I completely lost it. I had a really good one.
Jar Jar Binks?
I had a really good one before.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Now listen, I'm not Batman. He says that. He does.
The most hope.
The
most hopeless Benoit person I
remember.
I promise you
the quote. No, I've been practicing.
It's such a sad sentence.
Okay, I've never practiced it, but I thought about it.
No, you've definitely practiced it.
Imbreviate. That wasn't even close. That was so bad.
Please. Imbreathiate.
It's not a word. So shit. That was so good. That one was great. That one was on point. Anyway, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Yeah, we just got to it.
End of pod.
A great movie.
A great movie. I am working on a little BHL vid on it.
Oh, you wouldn't
But
dare.
a very, very great film. Would you say you enjoyed this or the first one more?
Ooh, okay. Hear me out. I think I definitely enjoyed this one more.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's because of the hype and build-up after we found out the first one was so nutty.
That is, yeah.
In terms of actual movie, I think this one maybe had a better mystery, I want to say.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think there are more layers to this one and more twists.
AKA the Glass Onion.
I look at... No, I'm not going to do
No, go on.
I look at the center of this glass onion.
You might as well put a gun on a table.
So bad. You genuinely sounds like Forrest Gump. Anyway, yeah, I think they're both, obviously twists on the, mystery genre. This one, when it did the, we said spoilers, when it did the flashback and it's like, actually it's her twin sister. At the start,
I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it coming. At the start, it was a little bit of a Avatar situation where I was like, is this going to be kind of a really tacky, like, it's actually my twin that died kind of thing. But it works really well, and it wasn't like the way those twists kind of get a reputation for being kind of hack twists are, it comes out of nowhere and it's just to surprise you, but clearly this was thought out and played a very big part in the film.
And I'd say I thought the way that they kind of, I don't know, Benoit comes across as way more intelligent in this one than in the first one, I think. I like the way that whole kind of flashback kind of built that up,
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot. The first one, as I kind of mentioned in my video, he does kind of accidentally himself into figuring out the mystery.
Yeah, he is, like, as they also say in the Honest trailer, this here detective is about as sharp as a bowling ball.
Yeah. Like, it honestly, part of the first film's, like, humor could kind of be Benoit Blanc is just not a good detective. Like, it's just like this mystery is unfolding around him, and really it's Anna de Armas who's the main character. Whereas in this one, like, the fact that they set it up, he solves this relatively smaller mystery right off the bat with the one Edward Norton sets up, and then also figures out everything else in a really good way. Yeah, he came across much more as the world's greatest detective in this.
Yeah, exactly. Was he known as the world's greatest detective in the first one?
I think it was known as just like kind of a vaguely famous detective. But I think, yeah, I also love that it isn't like a direct sequel to the first one. Like, it's like, and I saw a quote from Rian Johnson where he was saying he was annoyed that they made him put a Knives Out mystery in the title because obviously they want to market it like that. But he was like, I want it, and this is the exact vibe you get from it. He was like, I want it to be like those mystery novels that, like, each one's a new chapter where it's just like, Hercule Poirot or, I don't know, Nancy Drew or whoever else.
Tintin.
I don't know. Sure. yeah, that works.
Yeah, that was fucking spot on.
Like, you can take it, like, off the shelf, like, just a new mystery. I like all the political humor and, like, all the satire was quite funny.
Yeah. I was worried.
Dave Bautista is a Twitch streamer who loves boobs.
Yeah, and watches himself get cucked, it seems.
He does, yeah. And he only gets mad when it doesn't result in business help.
I will say I was a little bit worried about the whole, like, if they were to go, like, too heavy on the whole COVID thing. But then they didn't.
Go to COVID-free.
Out of nowhere, Ethan Hawke shows up.
With the COVID vaccine, I guess.
Yeah, just shoots them in the mouth.
Yeah. Yes, I did think... That's the thing that also impresses me is that we've talked about before, there was some movie that came out, I think it was with James McAvoy, where it was like the pandemic romantic comedy like a year ago. And it's like, motherfucker, we are still in the pandemic. I don't want to watch a fucking pandemic comedy. And even now that we're out of it, most of me is thinking, like, I don't want to be reminded of this ever. And this one did not annoy me.
No, because, in fairness, when they filmed this, COVID was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, like, incorporated that into the, like some of my friends who watched it, they're like, oh, it was so heavy on the COVID. So I was like, I don't think it was.
No, it was only.
It was totally fine. It was like in the beginning, and
they mentioned it like a couple of times.
Yeah, and that also just gives a time frame. It's fine.
Yeah, I think the thing is the reason, and obviously if it's done poorly, it's just like bad. But the reason that I keep thinking it's like annoying is that movies, like, you think of movies as like fiction, and then that seems like such a real world thing. But I think about it like this, like also, like at a certain point in time, like we view like World War II or something as like just part of it's like part of every movie you assume World War II happened.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and I guess in a while like COVID will also be like that, where it's just like a thing that happened at this time. But yeah, there was something I was going to say on that. Just the cast of characters, I enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
I think
very good Edward Norton, I'd say.
Great Norton. I thought Janelle Monáe was very good. I don't actually know her name. Whiskey Duke's girlfriend.
Madeline Klein.
Thought she was good. I mean, everyone was good.
Yeah.
I think Leslie Odom Jr. and Catherine Hahn were a little bit more on the forgettable side. Is
Catherine Hahn the
politician,
and Leslie who's...
He's the scientist guy.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, I mean...
A little more on the forgettable-ish side.
I mean, they were just kind of like... They were there. But...
I liked Iron Fist's girlfriend, Jessica Henwick. Her assistant.
Oh, the assistant. Okay, yeah.
And she was... Actually, everyone was really good. Birdie was really good as well. Everyone was great.
Mm-hmm. No, honestly, just... And the random guy on the island who's just kind of strolling around. I thought he was going to have something to do with the whole thing, but it was just... He literally just was a chill guy.
He's actually played by the same guy. Do you remember Trooper Wagner from the first movie? The Lakeith's, like, assistant?
Is that guy?
It's the same guy, yeah. I don't think it's the same character, but it's just, it's the same actor. He's apparently in all of Rian Johnson's movies. He's just, like, his buddy.
That's awesome.
Kind of nutty, yeah.
When you become a big director, please...
All right, I'll put Lele in every movie.
Oh, okay, that's exactly what I wanted.
As the star.
And the villain.
And Yassine will be the love interest every goddamn time.
Speaking of love interests, Hugh?
Well, should we get on to the nutty stuff? I noted down some nutty things.
Okay, yeah, well, let's talk nutty, and then we can talk overall thing at the end as well.
Sure. First of all, Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant,
who has confirmed they are married.
There you go.
I said it. I've talked about it to. Don't know why I'm having this conversation with many different groups of people.
So, are they friends or are they a couple?
Some people are saying they're obviously married. Some people said they were just partners. Some people said he's just like his butler or something. Like they just like they have no intimate relationship.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I was kind of a little bit almost like butler. I think because he was cooking.
Exactly. I did not. It did not immediately strike me as, oh, that's his husband.
But then when he's like in the tub and they kind of have a little bit of a bickery back and forth a little bit thing, he's married to Fletcher Mundo. Benoit is married to Hugh Grant.
God, does it get better?
Does not.
Such a good combo.
Such a cameo. We also have the Hawk cameo. Quite enjoyable. Just very, very
it's just
ominous Hawk.
Because does he take his glasses off?
He does not, no.
Right? I was like, this looks so much like Ethan Hawke. What is he doing here?
This is an underrated nutty moment. I don't think this, you might not even remember this happens.
Ooh.
But both times that I watched this movie, it did make me laugh out loud. Just because we have so many memes about Benoit. There's a part where Benoit is snooping, listening to something, and he is hiding behind like a nude like Greek statue.
Okay.
And it's just Benoit's face in front of a booty. It's just Benoit just sitting there with a butt in his face, and then he moves away, and the camera just holds on the butt for a little bit. Just very funny.
Very nutty.
We do have a Jeremy Renner
hot sauce,
which, for the record,
threw me so off guard.
By the way, we are recording this on January 3rd. Currently, Jeremy Renner is in critical but stable condition.
Yes.
So, we meme on the Renner and the Renner app. We would like to say best wishes. Hope he's okay. But in this film, a very nutty Renner reference. Again,
nutty.
Threw me off that, first of all, again, so many references feel like they were specifically made for us.
Like, why is the Jeremy Renner hot sauce even a thing here?
And then it actually comes into the plot, and it's renning hot. Very good.
There's the
Jared Leto's hard kombucha. Again, a Leto reference. What else could you want?
Nothing.
And of course, Benoit playing
You're the imposter, Benoit.
I'm very bad at stupid things.
Like, what was that? Clue? Is that what it's called? No.
Yeah, Clue.
Clue is a stupid game.
That is the Aegean Sea.
Because it's a silly, stupid game.
I'm very bad at stupid things. It may sound like a word, but it isn't. But
the one panache you got from me.
But yeah, Benoit is introduced playing Among Us, which again,
in a bathtub wearing a fez.
It is like a a super dated reference, but it works because it was the movie set in May 2020, so that is when that was a popular thing.
And kind of funny.
Also hilarious. I mean,
very funny.
I have to say, I was the only one in the cinema who laughed. I think someone groaned. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, also I had a horrible conversation I had to explain to, on my second watch, I watched it with my parents when it was out on Netflix. I had to explain to both of them what Among Us was.
All right, so
Papa Hudson, you're sus.
Also, Papa Hudson, so let's say the three of us are doing some tasks, and then I see you vent. That makes you sus.
And then Mama Hudson, I saw you in electrical.
But you weren't doing your task.
Do I need to call an emergency meeting? I sound like Stallone. God. Why do I sound like Stallone? That was emergency meeting.
An emergency meeting.
You're coming me on the day of my daughter's emergency meeting. Anyway, yeah, no, an incredible moment. What a time to be alive.
Honestly, it blew me. Like, and I remember you were just like, you told me because you watched it before me.
I was
like,
so excited for you to see it.
You were like, now I'm not going to spoil what it is, but around 10 minutes in, there's an incredible Benoit introduction. Are the words I believe you used.
Yep. And what did I lie?
You did not lie.
I did not lie.
The cards you showed me were true. They were goddamn. I was not expecting it at all.
God. But overall.
But who could be expecting a Benoit Among Us movie?
Of all the things I would expect in can we get maybe in Knives Out 3, how should Benoit be introduced? Let's brainstorm. I was thinking Fortnite.
Or it could be Benoit. Why are you giving us the Riz? Benoit, why do you have the light-skinned stare?
Or just a TikTok dance in general. I wouldn't be surprised. Benoit, why are you busting it down? I could see that for sure.
Right?
But overall, I thought Knives Out 2 Glass Onion was amazing. Mm-hmm. I'd give it a 9.5. It's not a word. That was really good.
That was
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is that the actual Mona Lisa?
Is that the actual Mona Lisa?
Also, a very enjoyable final shot of Edward Norton watching the Mona Lisa get destroyed, and he's just
screaming like.
Also, a little Easter egg that I totally found. I didn't read on Twitter. Did you notice that the final shot of Janelle Monáe like looking out is meant to be like the Mona Lisa, where they're like, you can't tell if she's smiling, you can't tell if she's happy or sad or whatever.
Ooh,
very nice.
I did not see that.
Me neither, but I read about it later.
Maybe that's just a coincidence. Well, not
genuinely, yeah, probably was intended as the exact opposite. She's supposed to look like Edward Norton,
and she did a very good job. I'm gonna give this here movie.
Yours is awful.
No, mine is great.
Yours is terrible.
Mine is perfect.
You sound like a character.
Much like this movie.
You sound like a character from Logan Lucky. That's a win, actually. That's a huge dub.
You say that like it's a negative thing.
Wait, which Craig accent is better? Logan Lucky? I am incarcerated. Or...
Now that's hooey.
Now that's hooey.
Now that was hooey.
Now that's hooey.
The things you say hooey like it's a person. And it is not. It is a state of mind.
God, this podcast is genuinely 100%.
Benoit.
I would be so fucking down.
I want to do that so bad.
We do an It Chapter 2 review only in Benoit accent.
Now, how about we do the rest of this here podcast in the Benoit?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm going to give this a 9.3 out of 10.
Out of 10. Anyway, let's move on. Yes. It's now time for...
Cnews.
It's really hard to not do.
It's really hard to not duke.
It's good. Endless loop. Tom Cruise. Let's see. This is recorded, by the way, a week well in advance of this pod. Tuesday, January 3rd. So this will be out of date, but whatever. Tom Cruise film Top Gun Maverick ends 2022 as #1 movie in the world. I'm pretty sure it has since been dethroned, though, by Avatar. But let's see.
Let's see here.
Or at the very least, it's getting very close. Yeah, very close. I think eventually Avatar will top it. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, Top Gun Maverick is the #1 movie.
Very
and
impressive.
What a win.
Huge win.
Crazy. For definitely not a niche movie. I mean, a very popular film,
but at the same time, not a film that I thought would be as popular as I thought. Maybe hit the 500 kind of maybe.
Yeah, maybe just crack the top 10, but to be a worldwide phenomenon,
it's just so good.
Congratulations, Cruise. So that's enough.
Very impressive.
Bootlicking for one day. We're now going to move on to the announcements and such, which will either be recorded next week, or we'll get to them all the week after. Here we go now.
Wow,
what announcements. Can't believe that that it was actually Benoit that took Duke's gun.
I've never seen you hang your head in such shame.
Thank you very much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed, don't give me that little sassy hand wave as if you're getting into characters like a cowboy or some shit. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe.
If Benoit Blanc was in Rampage, would he say, if you enjoyed?
God damn it. This year's off to such a bad start. Actually, I think we saved the 169th episode with this, the sexiest of endings possible. If you enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Bell bombs. If you're on YouTube, comment your thoughts on all the things we talked about and the pod down below. I'm losing it as I go along. The more I do, that's not a Benoit quote.
You need to be fueled by Benoit quotes. Just hit a Benoit quote.
Okay. Okay. Let me go. I'm not Batman.
I was actually closer to Batman than Benoit.
Miles Braun, isn't it? People are definitely so sick of this. We've done this for like an hour. If you want to check us out other places than YouTube, we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can leave a 5-star rating, drop a nice review, and let your friends know Benoit
sent you.
You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson, TikTok, BHL Hudson, Letterboxd, Drill, BHL Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudson@gmail.com. All these links are down below in the description, by the way.
Now, let me just get into character.
Okay.
I don't need an iPad.
Right.
You can find me on Twitter at FDK_DopeSniper.
You lost it so fast. The iPad one was pretty good, and then immediately...
I don't need an iPad. You can find me on Instagram at FDalgard. And you can find me on YouTube at FDK space Hooey.
Great. Thank you very much for listening. And we will see you next time, iPad.
I'm the imposter.
God. If anyone ever plays this to me, I'll have no defense for what this is.
So bad.